everyone. I'm sure by now you know that if you see me, there's something very fashionable coming up next. This is one of my favorite segments for tonight. It's our next fashion segment, and it's time now to introduce you to our fashion committee that's been very painstakingly put together by our DLC lifestyle consultant, Mr. Vinod Nair. So I'd like to introduce you to our first panelist of our fashion committee. She's someone who is immensely credited for steering the growth of the prestigious fashion magazine Vogue India. Her styling company Style Cell is famous for dressing national and international celebrities. She has also bagged so many accolades that you know what, she really doesn't need too much of an introduction because everybody knows who she is. Please help me welcome the gorgeous and very talented Anaita Shroff Adajania. Our second panelist on this committee is our very own New Age Fashion Stylist of the Year, awarded by the Indian Fashion Award 2021, who believes in pouring his heart and soul into styling. His work has been flaunted in many Bollywood movies, making him one of the most reputed celebrity stylists and Bollywood costume designer. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Akshay Tyagi. Next up, we have a fashion stylist and a costume designer. And I'd like you to welcome her on stage very soon. She's the woman behind some of the fabulous looks of Bollywood again. She has a very keen eye for detail and unique choices, making her styles extensively part of the high-end fashion events such as pre- and post-Oscar parties, BAFTA Awards, and Screen Guild Awards, and the very famous Cannes Film Festival. She has been labeled as one of the most powerful stylists in Bollywood. Her work has been featured in magazines like Vogue, Elle, Grazia, Cosmopolitan, Peacock Magazine, and many more. Please help me welcome Tanya Ghavri. Next up, I'd like to introduce you all to a very charming host in the new series, Say Yes to the Dress, but an excellent stylist having the knack for bridal wear. He believes that each outfit should be the true reflection of the bride and the story he wanted to portray to the world through silhouette, color, and texture. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Divyak D'Souza. What a powerful panel this is, I have to say. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you for the lovely introductions, Shamita. You're looking lovely as always.
Thank you.
We were called here to communicate about disruptive personal style. And I think to begin with, we need to figure out what is personal style. I mean, I can see that there are various styles just in our front tables here. Happy to see that you haven't worn shorts today. Great respect to the event, I must say. And lovely to see a lavender blazer on the other side. But I think, what I want to communicate is style is a very personal thing. It's about what makes you feel good, what makes you comfortable, and I think what gives you confidence, right? To be yourself. It's the language that is unspoken when you walk into a room. It says something about who you are, what mood you're in. I know us women know, depending on what heels we're wearing, how we're feeling that night and how beautifully blow-dried our hair is. So I'm going to start by these amazing experts giving us tips on what can we do to find our personal style. And once we find it, then we can figure out how to disrupt it, right? Akshay, let's start with you.
Okay, so firstly, I've had the pleasure of being mentored by you. Obviously, for the last decade, I've been with Style Cell. And to everyone who's here, obviously, I think it's about really knowing the rules before breaking the rules. And I think sometimes it's just really not caring about the rules before you just show up and be who you are. So spend the time, figure it out, and I guess take the next steps, whatever they may be. Tanya?
Yeah. Thank you for having us. And I'm so happy to be here with Anaita. The minute I heard she was there, I was like, I'm in. Yeah, I think personal style is something that I think it's constantly evolving and changing. You know, over the years, when I look at my pictures from 10 years ago, I was like, what was I thinking? You know,
Because
so
now you're only in bikinis and exotic locations. So yeah.
that's but no, so I think it's something that's very innate. And I think that the most important thing is it keeps changing. And I think it's something that you have to keep exploring. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Divya, give us a practical tip. These two are just giving gyan. Give us a practical tip. Let's give people like 10 things they can do to find their personal style.
I don't know about 10.
Start with one.
And I actually might have an unpopular opinion with
Okay.
stylists because I don't think style is just about clothes. I think the clothes are very incidental to having style, you know. Style is about the food you like to eat, the music you listen to, the cinema you watch, the places you travel to, you know. So for me, even your wardrobe choices are just a part of that mix. And you know, you could wear a t-shirt if you're comfortable at an event like this. You could wear a trouser suit. I think it's all about just owning who you are, what makes you comfortable.
So if we're talking about finding your style, would you say it is about discovering your personality, whether it's your likes, like you know, I know we all pay a lot of attention to the food we eat. Like, do we may apply that to the same choices in fashion? Like, is it healthy? Was it well made? Is it local? So, I mean, you know, there's so many things that we could advise people to do. I feel I'm going to give you all some practical tips. These people are just too dreaming.
I think if you like put it in very simple terms, and I think both of us will agree because we're both stylists. Like, I mean, you can be super, super well styled and still be super comfortable. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's about finding that. Like, I think a lot of people want to really just be comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, today, I mean, we're very lucky that oversized clothes are supposed to be stylish.
And our
you know?
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think all of us have, you know, I think people are very interested in how maybe we work with different personality types and how we have helped them find their style. So maybe you guys could share like a personal story of working with someone and how you've helped them find their style.
So for me, I think the only question that I ever ask when I take whatever clothes to the room is always, do you feel good in it? Do you feel good? Doesn't matter what brand it is, doesn't matter how much it costs, doesn't matter where it's come from. But when you wear it, do you feel like closer to the version of yourself? And I think that's very important to be aware of and to be connected to. I don't know if you guys feel that happens with you guys.
I mean, that, and I guess, you know, like, because our job is to make people look better, and I guess that's our point of view. So, for example, when I was styling Ritik for Dhoom, you know, when I met him, he was someone who wore his pants up here and he wore tight body fit clothes like he was going to go scuba diving. And it was a very big breakthrough. I mean, not a breakthrough, it was a breakthrough eventually. But the process was of convincing him that it's okay to wear his pants a bit lower. It's also about projecting what's going to happen in the future. And I think our job as stylists is to do that even with our regular clients. It's not just you have to be a celebrity to get advice from a stylist. I think personal shopping and styling is now the norm for everyone. So don't rack your brains on trying to understand what any of us are doing. You can just hire us.
No, I think particularly with me, because I end up styling a lot of brides, and I feel like the wedding and what people wear as part of their trousseau is probably the most important wardrobe choice for a lot of Indian women, particularly. But I don't see it ever as my job to tell someone what to look like or what they should be wearing. I think my job is to just articulate their self-expression, you know. So if a girl wants to be a maximalist and she wants to wear all of the jewelry, personally would I recommend it? Maybe not. But if there's a way to do it nicely and make it work for this girl, I think that's where my point of view comes in. And also, of course, technically, you know, suggesting what is the right fabric for her, what is the kind of jewelry she should pair with the kind of work on her outfit. I think that's my primary job. I don't like to dictate to people and tell them that you should only wear this fit and you should only wear this silhouette. I think that's
You're
I'm
a nice
the
guy.
dictator. I'm the dictator. But no,
Takes
I
all
think no.
kinds.
I'm just kidding. But I think like we're talking about brides. Of course, in India, weddings are the most important thing. Events like this are important. What should I wear? Should it be a long dress? Should it be a short dress? Should I be in a suit? Should I be in a tuxedo? Clearly, because this is the first big event that's happening, we can see how diversely dressed you all are. Believe me, as the years come, people will look back, research on the year before, and use that as a tool to dress for particular events. And I think this is one tip that I offer you. Like if you're going to a big event internationally or even locally, just look at the earlier 2 years and see how people have dressed, and you'll kind of get a vibe and a mood. But having said that, it's not at the cost of giving up what you are or your personal style. That's, of course, the most important thing.
Which I hope all of us are trying to present to you today without really planning it. We just all showed up in our own comfort of what we think is appropriate for today. And I think what's nice is that a lot of you, like you just said, have showed up in the same capacity, and that is what's more disruptive more than anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to give you a small example. When I started working with Bebo, Kareena Kapoor, many years ago, I think she was still figuring out what her style is. And I think over the years of working with her, I think less is more for her, for sure. And now it's come to a point after 10 years of working with her where she see like 6 outfits or 8, and she knows which one she wants to try, and that's it, But that was a journey. So I think it takes time to figure out what it is that you like, and you just have to keep trying. And eventually you just figure it out. Yeah.
So there are a few like practical tips that work. I mean, you can always, you don't have to be a celebrity to figure out what your style of dressing is. You can create a mood board for yourself. Everyone's on Pinterest now. Just take pictures, put them into a folder, and you'll see a pattern. Look into your wardrobe. If they're the same 10 things that you wear again, give away the rest. Swap them, swap with friends. It's all about community, sustainability now. I think, the more you share, you can fill those gaps. You can make a wish list for yourself and fill the things that are missing on your next shopping trip.
I always recommend to anyone, especially with tailoring, because a lot of gentlemen in the audience are wearing suits. I always recommend that you do a visit to a fabric store yourself. Just go there once, understand what a wool fabric looks like, what polyester looks like, what cotton silk looks like. I feel that's important because only when you touch and feel and you get something custom made, the old school way. You buy the fabric, you go to a Master G, you get it done the old school way. Of course, the designers will have things on a rack. You can always walk into a shop and look at. But educate yourselves a little bit, maybe in terms of the kind of fit and fabric that you like. Small tip, but it really helped me. I mean, I tailor almost everything that I wear.
So we have that advantage in India. And I think also similar to what you were saying, it's nice to have like your fashion icons. Like people that you think are well-dressed, people that you'd like to dress like. And, maybe slightly emulate their style. I think that could be an easy way for people who are not stylists.
God, I think that list is very long for me. World over. To start with, like Julia Roberts, like she's over the years, like absolutely like unbelievable. I think like in India, I think I would say Sonam, just because of how like she breaks so many molds and she's always trying new things and very unpredictable. And I think with men's, I think George Clooney, he's just
Absolutely. I think I'm open to taking a few questions if anyone has some questions.
I have a question. How do you, when you work with someone and you're styling them, how do you define style? Like, do you use a certain type of words, which are adjectives? Do you use it from like reference of designers? Do you use it for like, a design language? Like if you had to tell someone like understand your style, what's the first thing that you would tell them in terms of wording?
I'll start. So for me, actually, I'm very old school, and that old school is my own school, which is that I create a mood board for anyone I'm working with. It's like a wish list that I feel this would look good on you. So, for example, what do I think would work on you? Whether it's silhouette, whether it's color, cut, maybe brand names, and then ideally take you shopping. And then we try and we have fun and we have some champagne and we shop a lot. Yeah, that's the idea.
I love that.
No, I feel like a lot of times, your job is also kind of like a shrink because you have to understand
Big time.
this person's mind and their vibe. So the first time I ever worked with someone, actor, whoever, I kind of like start snooping around their home a little bit. I'm like, can I see what's in your cupboard? What do you eat? Where do you like to travel? Where do you hang out with your friends? Because then you kind of get an insight into what this person's days are like, what they like doing, where they like going, what climate they're going to be in. Because very often people don't care. You're going to throw words like terracotta and silhouette and, they don't give a shit about all of these fancy fashion terms. They just need an outfit that will carry them through the life they want to lead without having to think too much about it, So yeah, I think shrinking people a little bit is wouldn't you guys agree? Like, you have to kind of
and you can
therapize
also do it for yourself.
all
Like
the
you
time.
can analyze, what are the kind of occasions you have to dress for? What kind of travel do you do? Are you a beach bum like me, or do you, I don't have a winter wardrobe, for example. I don't need it. So you kind of figure out what your needs are, and then somebody can help you fill in the gaps.
I think I would go the slight millennial Gen Z way and stalk them on Instagram a little bit. Yeah. And then that kind of becomes like a little bit of a mood board of what their personal style is, where they've traveled, the way they put themselves together, and how you can do better for them. Obviously, it's always a collaboration between your client and you, but I think that's a good start point to know what they're all about. Yeah.
And I think also sometimes it's just really taking note of that first time in the morning you're getting dressed, you're just like, do I like this? This is how I feel today. Like, if you don't, just chuck it aside. Don't force yourself to fit into some mold. So I think it's really important to be daring
Vibe
with
with
that.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I just want to know, do we have different fabric, different colors, different texture of the fabric again, to be worn in different weathers? There's a summer and autumn and winter and rains. So how do we pick and choose those?
I think there's so much information if you do a simple Google search, or if you even follow the right style icons, so to speak, on social media. You'll always see a lot of stylists, like in Anita, for example. If you look at her social media, half of her vacation wardrobe, she's quite descriptive in, the fabric that she's wearing, or the silhouette, or even with tagging the brand that she sort of looked at when purchasing that piece. So, of course, I don't want to get into like details of cotton and linen are best for summer, and we can have that chat offline, but most certainly you should pick your fabric and wear it according to climate.
Hi. I want to know that how can we spice up our monotonous formals?
How can you spice up your formals?
Yeah.
Actually, the most amazing time is happening right now for menswear, especially in our country. And I think, for me, naturally, I've always had my men slightly dandy in all the work that I do. Unfortunately, I'm married to a guy who only wears black t-shirts. But besides that, I think color, we saw Suket's beautiful clothes. The jacket I'm wearing is his. It could be worn by a man or a woman. And I think also accessories do a lot of talking, whether it's your shoes, your pocket square. Like, you can lose that boring white pocket square the next time you're here and get a nice print or something, right? Yeah? Anyone else want to add to that?
I think just let go. Forget the rules, let go. Whatever comes predestined in the store, take it off, force yourself to try something, get uncomfortable. That'll be the best way to spice it up.
That's amazing advice. Thank you so much,
Thank
panelists,
you all
for
for your
all your
patience.
wonderful tips and advice. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear a huge round of applause for this power panel? All the celebrity stylists are all under one roof tonight.